Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another video, and today I'll be telling you 10 reasons why you need to start skateboarding right now. And for those of you that already do skateboard, well, good for you. Just keep going. Keep doing it. But for those of you that are on the edge of debating if you should start skateboarding or not, well then this video will probably convince you why you should. Because trust me, starting out in skateboarding is not as intimidating as it may seem, and there are quite a lot of things that you can do to have a really good time, and in this video hopefully I can point some of those things out and yeah, pretty much just give you 10 reasons why you need to start skateboarding. Starting out with number 1, you're gonna get tons of really hot chicks always begging for your number. Hold on, pause. No, that's definitely not gonna be the case. If anything, you're probably gonna have more dudes asking you for your number because they think that you're good at skateboarding once you eventually get there. But you will make a lot of lifelong friends through skateboarding. I have personally made quite a lot of friends and also just met a lot of people through skateboarding. And even if you don't have anybody that you can start skateboarding with, which is honestly the best way to start it, if you're gonna start it with somebody, start with a friend, your brother, your sister, whoever. But even if you don't have anybody to skate with, over time, the more that you go to your local skate park, the more that you will establish relationships with the skaters that skate there regularly, and you'll eventually make some friends to skate with too. Up next is that you do not need to be a pro to enjoy skateboarding. Now, obviously, when you first start out skateboarding, it's gonna be mostly a lot of frustration. Well, at least it can be. Depends what you do. If you're just trying to cruise around and, you know, maybe bomb some hills or something, for the most part, you probably won't have too much pain unless you fall, in which case it'll be very painful. But, you know, just try to not fall. But the very essential basics of skateboarding is really just cruising around. And once you know how to push and stop and turn, then you really unlock a whole lot of just things that you can do with your skateboard. And eventually from there, you'll progress and you'll get better, but you don't need to be good to have fun. But even if you can't push your skateboard or even do tricks or anything like that, well then I guess you can just play Skate 3 and pretend that you're good at skateboarding, which is what I do. So anyway, on to the next point. Skateboarding is something that you can do anytime you want. That is, as long as you don't live in an area where it rains for half the year, which is where I live, in which case you are either stuck skating in parking garages, which are actually really great, indoor skate parks, which are great, or your worst case, your own garage or your own house, which for the most part isn't the most friendly skateboarding environment for you to skate in. But if you remove your trucks and you do a few things, you can have quite a blast skateboarding in your own house on carpet or wherever you want and not really make too much noise or bang up any walls. I mean, you could literally skate almost anything that you want. You can sneak into an abandoned house, which I don't advise doing, but you could do it, and you could just build a skate park inside there. People have done that. And that's how a lot of great DIY spots are actually formed. People just find a nice natural place that is already good for skateboarding, like underneath a bridge or somewhere deep in the forest or in an abandoned house, and they just build onto that and they make it into a skate park. So skateboarding is without a doubt something that you can do all year round, which is very nice because a lot of sports don't offer that. You know, for a lot of other sports you have seasons. You like for snowboarding, you can only do that during winter. Where for surfing, you can only do that when the waves are right. For team sports like soccer or football, there's seasons for that too. So for the most part, as long as you have a place to do it in, you can skateboard all year round. Number 4, it's a great way to exercise. Skateboarding is probably the most fun cardio exercise you'll ever have. Skateboarding doesn't feel like you're actually working out. It just feels like you're doing an activity, and the side effect of that activity is that you get in shape. Now, skaters aren't necessarily known for being very much in shape, but most skaters do tend to be pretty healthy because skateboarding just brings a lot of cardio and core workout into your life. It makes leg day every day. And as a former gym bro, that terrifies me, but at the same time, I have way more fun skateboarding than I ever did in the gym. And skateboarding doesn't only work out your legs or your core or whatever cardio muscles you have. It's also a really great exercise just mentally. Not only because you're challenging yourself to do something better and you have to overcome mental obstacles as you get there. For example, you might have to overcome an obstacle of dropping in. That's a very common one, where people just are scared of dropping in, even though it's very, very simple, but you have to overcome that mental obstacle. And this comes up a lot in skateboarding. A lot of skateboarding is just you defeating your own mental, I guess, doubts about yourself. On top of that, skateboarding can also just be really relaxing and can ease your brain from all those little like high frequency
frequencies, bang, 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 all very acidic, above the shoulders mustard shit. Right? It kind of can wig some people out. Right? You gotta feed the geese to keep the blood flowing. And keep the rhythm below the belt.
Fucking like, I don't know, numbers, digits, and whatever you're dealing with throughout your workday or your school day, it just lets you be at ease for a while. And I think it's also a really big part of being healthy as well. So yeah, overall, skateboarding is just great for your health. Anyway, my next point is that skateboarding is relatively cheap. For the most part, all you really need to skateboard is a skateboard and some good skateboarding shoes. Now, if you want to get a really good skateboard, you know, I'm talking like a pro deck, just like everything pretty much top of the line, it would cost you around $150, maybe $200. And if you're a beginner just looking to buy their first skateboard, I cannot like say this enough. Go to a local skate shop. Just go on Google, type up local skate shop, and find one that is somewhat near you. Like, if it's not like, I don't know, an hour away, it's worth the drive because they'll tell you the parts that you actually need to care about, the parts that you actually want to spend money on, and the parts that you can kind of, you know, just put a bit cheaper stuff on. And also they'll help you set up your board. They'll tell you any other tips, any other things that you might need to know. And it's just an overall great experience. And also it benefits just the small business owners that are trying to make a living through skateboarding because it is getting taken over by corporate industries such as Nike and Zoomies and all that stuff. So don't buy from corporate brands, buy from local skate shops. But if you don't have a local skate shop, then check out my links down below for cal7.com. They have completes and decks at a reasonable price, and they're also not too shabby. Their decks, as far as I'm concerned, are really solid. I skate their decks personally, and I love their decks. And their completes are really cheap, which is what makes them so great, but they are obviously gonna have to sacrifice a few components to make that price point work. But if you're a beginner, I think their completes are perfectly fine to learn on. They are a really great starting point for you to start your skateboarding journey, and they don't cost too much. So if you end up not liking it for some reason, your parents aren't gonna get mad at you for having them spend $200 on a piece of wood. Anyway, on to my next point. Skateboarding is great for commuting if you do it right. Now, if you live like, I don't know, somewhere like really shitty, like North Dakota. I hate North Dakota. Well, then for you, it's probably gonna be really hard to, I don't know, commute anywhere to skate because all you have out there is like highways and stuff. But if you live in the city or maybe like a small little town or just anywhere that has, you know, walkways or somewhere that you can walk that's paved or even just roads that are empty for the most part, then you could definitely skate and commute to school, to work, wherever you want, you know, as long as it's kind of reasonable. And the only thing that I recommend if you're gonna go this route is that you get some soft compound wheels or even some cruiser wheels and just have those on your skateboard because it'll make your ride 1,000 times smoother and you won't get worn out. And yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I have to say about that. Which brings me on to my next point, which is progression. Progression is something that every skateboarder strives to have. Everybody that steps on a skateboard is gonna have to do a bit of progressing. Now that could be from you learning how to push, to you learning how to ollie, to you learning how to do a board slide, how to do a ghetto bird, how to jump 20 stairs down El Toro. These are all different parts of the skateboarding progression. Now obviously, doing something down El Toro is a whole nother ballpark than doing an ollie. But the feeling that you get when you land that trick, I don't know if it'd be the same as landing something in El Toro, but it's pretty similar. But as far as progression goes, it'll be the most rewarding feeling that you'll get in skateboarding, and it's also gonna be the most challenging thing to overcome. Anyway, up next for why you should get into skateboarding is, it is for all ages. Now, I know for some of you, you may be showing this to your parents, and they're watching this and they're like, well, yeah, sure, maybe you can skateboard, but I could never. I'm too old. I got some back pain. I don't have health insurance. You know, well, guess what? I don't have health insurance either. I'm still here. Like, regardless of health insurance or not, while the saying goes, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, you can definitely teach an old dog to skateboard. Because while skateboarding may seem like a very intense sport that takes a big toll on your body, as long as you're not doing all that crazy stuff, it doesn't take a big toll on your body. There's a lot of old people that do vert skateboarding, and they have pads, they have helmets obviously, and for the most part you don't really get hurt too bad doing that stuff because it's just low impact. Like honestly, unless you're like 90 and you're in a wheelchair, you can probably skateboard. On the flip side, you're also never too young to start skateboarding. There are literally like kids that start skateboarding since they can walk. Now, obviously they have helmets and pads and all this stuff. You don't want to throw a kid out there without a helmet, but there isn't a certain age limit to when a kid should start skateboarding. Kids can pick up skateboarding and get really good at it when they're super young. Like there's 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds doing tricks that adults can't even do. Like professional skateboarding adults can't do these tricks that these kids are doing right now. Anyway, on to my next point. You do not need friends to skate. Now, well, of course, you will make friends in skateboarding, and skateboarding with friends can be really fun and can improve your skateboarding a lot more than skateboarding alone, actually. Regardless of if you just don't have friends or you can't make friends, that's good, because skateboarding is an individual sport. It's not a team sport where you have to rely on a leader or a captain or whoever to tell you what to do. You just kind of do your own thing, and sometimes having a session just to yourself where you can listen to music and just kind of be in your own head is really nice too. And last, but definitely not least, is the most important point of all, and that is skateboarding is not as dangerous as you may think. I know, you've seen all those videos of people flying over the air and like breaking bones. Hopefully you haven't seen those, but if you watch Hall of Meat, you probably have seen a few of those. Most parents' instinctual reaction to skateboarding is that it's just not safe. But for the most part, it's actually a lot safer than a lot of the traditional sports that your kids play. But for the most part, skateboarding only gets dangerous when you are first starting out and you don't know anything, and you might just like step on your board weird and you might just fall on your back, which is the most likely scenario that's going to happen to you when you're first starting out. Or when you get really good and you start doing stuff that no one's ever done before, or that it's just on a very high level of skateboarding, such as, you know, giant stair sets, jumping off of buildings, all that crazy stuff where you see all the injuries coming from. Now, if you have a scale of people that skateboard, you have the beginners right here, and you have the pros up here. The people that are getting hurt a lot are gonna be mostly in like up here, you know, this very top section, and then down here, this like very beginner intermediate section. Everything in the middle, for the most part, unless you get very unlucky, you're not gonna be really hurting yourself that badly. You might sprain a wrist, you might sprain an ankle, but for the most part, you're not gonna be breaking bones, having massive head injuries, although those do happen, which is why you should wear a helmet if you are a child or if you are worried about hitting your head. Luckily for me, this is a hollow dome. It's like a boom. I got nothing in there, so I got nothing to protect. But for those of you that do have a GPA above, like, I don't know, a 2, then you should probably start wearing a helmet, or at least consider wearing one. Or if your parents make you wear one, just wear one. Because trust me, steel or concrete is not exactly soft. So yeah, anyway, that is all for now. I hope you guys got convinced to start skateboarding, because it is really a great sport that I think everybody should try at least once in their life. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave it a like, leave it a comment, I don't know, something. And anyway, I'm gonna come back to you guys soon with another upload, because I'm gonna get uploading a lot more frequently again. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Peace out.